Have you ever noticed something strange? You spend years believing that healing will make you feel better, lighter, freer, more connected, but then you finally start healing, and somehow you feel lonelier than ever. Not because nobody loves you, not because nobody is around, but because something inside you has changed. The people who once understood you don't seem to understand you anymore. The conversations that used to comfort you suddenly feel empty. The places that once felt familiar now feel foreign. And some nights you find yourself wondering, if healing is supposed to help me, why does it feel like I'm losing everything? If you've ever felt that way, this video is for you, because one of the most painful truths about healing is something almost nobody talks about. Healing doesn't just remove pain. Sometimes it removes the people, patterns, identities, and coping mechanisms that once made you feel less alone. And for a while, before your new life begins, you find yourself standing in a strange space between who you used to be and who you're becoming, and that space can feel incredibly lonely. Let's talk about why. The first thing most people don't understand is that healing is not simply recovering from pain. Healing is separation. It's separating yourself from the things that hurt you. The problem is that many of those things were also the things that made you feel connected. Think about it. Maybe you bonded with people through complaining, through trauma, through shared suffering, through being the person who always rescued everyone else, through constantly being available, through never saying no. When those patterns begin to disappear, something unexpected happens. Some relationships begin to disappear too, not because you're becoming selfish, not because you're becoming cold, but because the relationship was built around a version of you that no longer exists. And that realization hurts, because even unhealthy connections can still feel like connection. Even painful relationships can still feel familiar. And the human heart often confuses familiar with safe. So when healing starts pulling you away from old dynamics, your nervous system doesn't always celebrate. Sometimes it grieves. One of the loneliest moments in healing happens when you stop being the person everyone expects you to be. For years, maybe you were the strong one, the fixer, the peacekeeper, the person who listened to everyone's problems while quietly carrying your own. You became so good at taking care of other people that it became your identity. Then healing taught you something uncomfortable. You are allowed to have needs too. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to stop carrying people who refuse to carry themselves. And suddenly, the people who love the old version of you become confused. Some become distant, some become angry. Some accuse you of changing. But here's the painful truth. You did change. You had to. The old version of you is surviving. The new version is trying to live. And not everyone benefits when you stop abandoning yourself. That can feel incredibly lonely, because growth often reveals who loved you and who loved your usefulness. Another reason healing feels lonely is because it forces you to see things clearly, and clarity can be heartbreaking. When we're wounded, we spend a lot of time chasing hope. Hope that our parents will change, hope that our partner will finally understand, hope that our friends will show up the way we need them to. Hope keeps us moving, hope keeps us attached. But healing brings clarity, and clarity sometimes whispers, "This relationship may never become what you've spent years hoping it would become." That realization creates a very specific kind of grief. You're not grieving what happened, you're grieving what never happened. The apology that never came, the love you needed but never received, the emotional safety you kept waiting for, the version of someone you believed existed beneath all the disappointment. This kind of grief is invisible. Nobody sees it, nobody brings flowers for it, but it can break your heart all the same. And because the people you're grieving are often still alive, the loneliness feels even harder to explain. Joy. There is also another reason healing feels lonely. A quieter reason, a deeper reason. When you've spent most of your life in survival mode, you're never really alone. Your mind is constantly busy, analyzing, predicting, people-pleasing, overthinking, managing everyone's emotions, preparing for the next disappointment. Survival keeps you occupied, healing slows everything down. And when the chaos finally gets quiet, you meet someone you may have avoided your entire life, yourself. At first, that sounds beautiful, but for many people, it feels terrifying. Because once the distractions disappear, old sadness rises, old grief surfaces, Old wounds finally ask to be felt. Healing doesn't always remove pain immediately. Sometimes it creates enough safety for buried pain to finally come up. And when that happens, it can feel like you're getting worse. You're not. You're finally feeling what you've spent years avoiding. There's a difference. This is why many people quit healing halfway through, not because they're weak, but because loneliness convinces them something has gone wrong. They think, I was happier before. But were you happier, or were you distracted? There's a difference between peace and numbness. There's a difference between connection and attachment. There's a difference between healing and avoiding. Many people return to unhealthy relationships not because they are healthy, but because loneliness feels unbearable. The familiar pain feels safer than the unfamiliar future. The known suffering feels easier than the uncertainty of growth. And that's exactly why healing requires courage. Because for a period of time, you must be willing to walk through loneliness without immediately trying to escape it. But here's the part that nobody tells you. The loneliness of healing is different from the loneliness of being wounded. The loneliness of being wounded feels empty. The loneliness of healing feels transitional. One drains you, the other is building something. You just can't see it yet. Think of a caterpillar inside a cocoon. From the outside, it looks inactive. Nothing appears to be happening. But everything is happening. The old form is dissolving. A new one is being created. Healing works the same way. While it feels like you're losing people, identities, and old comforts, you're actually creating space. Space for healthier relationships. Space for deeper self-respect. Space for a life that doesn't require you to betray yourself in order to belong. The problem is that space feels empty before it feels full, and most people mistake the emptiness for failure. The truth is that healing changes the kinds of people you can connect with. The relationships that once felt exciting may now feel exhausting. The conversations that once felt normal may now feel shallow. The environments that once felt comfortable may now feel overwhelming, not because you're becoming better than anyone, but because your nervous system is changing. You are no longer looking for intensity. You are looking for safety. You are no longer looking for approval. You are looking for authenticity. You are no longer looking for people who need you. You are looking for people who see you. And finding those people takes time, which means there is often a lonely season between releasing what no longer fits and discovering what finally does. That season is difficult, but it is not permanent. If you're in that season right now, I want you to hear this carefully. The loneliness you're feeling may not be proof that healing is failing. It may be proof that healing is working. Because sometimes the reason you feel disconnected is that you're no longer willing to connect through self-abandonment. You're no longer willing to shrink yourself for acceptance. You're no longer willing to betray your own needs just to avoid being alone. And that is a profound act of courage, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. One day you'll look back at this chapter differently. You'll realize you weren't being punished. You were being transformed. The people who were meant to stay will find their place. The relationships built on authenticity will begin to grow. And most importantly, you'll discover something many wounded people spend their entire lives searching for. A relationship with yourself that no longer depends on external validation to survive. Because healing is not the process of becoming someone else. It's the process of finally coming home to yourself. And sometimes before home feels warm, it feels quiet. If this video resonated with you, know that you're not the only person walking through this lonely part of healing. Many people are standing in that same space between who they were and who they're becoming. And if that's where you are right now, keep going. The loneliness is not the destination, it's just the bridge. And bridges are meant to be crossed,